My name is Carol Francis. I'm a theatre nurse at Winchester Hospital. I've been nursing for the last, 17 years almost, including my training. All of it in theatres apart from my initial training. I love theatre nursing. Don't always like the people that I have to work with sometimes, and some of the jobs that I do can be not too palatable. I got into complementary therapies from doing my nursing training. We had a whole day dedicated to complementary therapies and pretty much had it hammered into us at that time that most complementary therapies, when I trained, were unregistered but run alongside medicine. They're not alternative therapies as many people stress them to be. Alternative implies that it is something instead of medicine, and that's not how it should work. We're not diagnosticians as complementary therapies. We provide a service, much the same as we do as nurses, and that is to help people to achieve either their optimum health or the best that their body and their mind can be. People who come for complementary therapies differ very much in their outlooks. You would assume that it is just one type of person, but it covers everybody across the range. I've treated people who are relatively young. I would say probably the youngest I've done is about 18, and the oldest that I've treated has been in their mid-70s. They're often people who are busy, don't get a lot of time, very stressed out, and because doctors aren't available 24/7, they get fed up waiting to go to the doctor's surgery and will quite often look for another way, another route of finding something that will help them relieve their stress. Now, in today's society, things that most people use to relieve stress if they don't use complementary therapies can be exercise. You find people who are exercise addicts. You can find people who turn to drink or drugs or crime. In a lot of youth's cases, it's boredom that sets them off. But for people who have stress, it continues to build. And if it's not treated, sooner or later, it will break down the body physically, because that's what stress does. It affects the immune system. So you may end up coming to somebody, even if it's your doctor, with a cold or a chest infection or some irritable bowel syndrome, and he can say, yes, this is what you've got, and we'll treat that symptom. He won't treat the cause.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Vandweller and I suffer from cauda-equina syndrome, which is a compression of the cauda-equina nerves at the base of the spine. This was caused by a delayed surgery due to misdiagnosis by the NHS. I suffered from lower back problems for many years. I had a disc which slipped in and out for a long time, and eventually this disc became damaged and burst, and the insides of the disc went into my spinal cord, causing compression on the nerves which control the lower part of your body, like your legs and your bladder and your bowel and all of the lower extremities. I'd taken to see my doctor in excruciating agony with loads of back spasms. I was referred to a hospital and supposedly supposed to have had an MRI scan, an urgent MRI scan. The doctor said there was nothing wrong with me, put me in a ward, told my sister, who's a paramedic, that there was nothing wrong with me. I was in there trying to blag morphine, and all that was wrong with me was I had a bladder infection. Anyway, eventually they did do an MRI scan, and I wasn't happy with their diagnosis, and I was still in a lot of pain, so I got copies of my scans and took them to see my chiropractor. Here are the scans from my original problem, when the disc originally herniated. Here you can see this is what the healthy disc should look like, and this is where the disc has herniated and is pressing into my spinal cord, and this disc here is darkened and is coming out the front. How the NHS could have missed this is a complete mystery to me. My chiro took one look at them and asked me to perform a simple task of elevating onto my tiptoes and then removing one of my feet and the right hand side, which was affected, just collapsed. And this is a telltale red flag symptom, and also the fact that lack of ankle reflex is also a telltale red flag symptoms. Bladder and bowel problems are red flag symptoms. So along with this and the MRI scans, my chiropractor Phil immediately referred me to a private surgeon whose name is Mr. McCutcheon. And I went to see him, and he said if I didn't have the operation within 2 weeks, I would be paralysed from the waist down and have to rely on colostomy bags and catheters for the rest of my life. He then contacted the NHS to tell them of his findings, and they refused to cooperate. So I had to find £5,000 to pay for a private operation to deal with this. But I have a lot of pain, I'm on a lot of painkillers. I do tend to try and use alternative medicines to help with the pain. I take turmeric because this is an anti-inflammatory, and also devil's claw, which I get from Holland and Barrett in capsules, and they do help with the pain. But when it's really bad, obviously I have to take my prescribed medicine. I try and stay with complementary therapy as much as I can. I'm growing a lot of my own herbs, and I want to learn about this and use it and make my own medicines rather than keep using all the chemical medicines that they keep giving to me. This is comfrey, which is also known as knit bone, and it's used to put on compress on broken bones and also strains and bruises. Okay, this is fennel, which is a good diuretic and can be used in tea to keep off water retention. This is Good King Henry, which is used as a hormone stabiliser. This is echinacea, which everybody knows is for colds and flus. This is feverfew, used for migraines and headaches. And this one is self-heal, which is antiseptic and also a good liver tonic. And this is Cambodian mint, which can be used in tea to aid digestion. And this is St John's wort, which is hypericum, which is used to treat depression. And here we've got chamomile, which can be used, the flowers can be used to make a tea, which is to treat anxiety.
I've picked this little range of crystals for you, so you can get an idea of different things that I can do with them. As you can see, I've got orbs, I have tumbled stones, I've got what I would use as a chakra set. I have the one that I use for crystal reflexology. I have my most powerful crystal, although she's tiny, she actually is quite powerful, and I have some that I would use for a specific purpose. And I also have one that I use for colour therapy.
Also, whenever possible, I use homeopathic treatments on my dogs, and there's a very good book for this. It's written by a homeopathic vet who I use, and I recommend this book to anybody. The reason I turned to alternative medicine in the first place is because I studied reflexology for a few years, and this was after having a treatment initially myself and found so many benefits from it. I thought I'd really like to learn about it, so I studied that for several years, and I do believe it really helps and really works. The whole body is mapped onto the feet, and all the nerve endings for every part of the body is in the feet, so when those nerve endings are stimulated, it has a positive effect on the energy and the various other parts of the body.
I'm going to do a short reflexology on a client here. It's very easy to do a reflexology anywhere. I've actually done one for somebody in a pub once, but the best place to have it is in the reclining chair for the patient, so that they are comfortable and they actually able to doze off, which some of them will do during the treatment. I always clean the feet first, and I cover them in talcum powder or calendula powder, because that just helps my hands to glide over the feet a little easier. It's split into 10 zones, and this is worked up from the big toe all the way down to the heel, central toe all the way down to the heel, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, and then that will correspond with that area of the body. Complementary medicine has helped me. you.